Hey y'all. Okay, so I've actually already filmed a video today, but I wasn't really feeling it because this is my first story time and I've been missing for I think 3 weeks now, maybe 4. I've honestly lost track of time. I thought I would refilm it. I went to Instagram and I asked you guys if I should ease into story times or if I should dive in head first. And obviously, I should have known. You all said that I should dive in. That being said, I decided to refilm the video and bring you guys a nice, juicy story time. I guess I'll just have to reshoot like all of my disclaimers, but a lot of the people who watch my videos are obviously people that I know from Instagram or like come here from my Instagram, but I don't know them from Instagram. I know them from everyday life. And some of you all may know like the people who are in the stories. And I just want you to know the disclaimer is that I have beef with nobody. All of this is in the past. I'm recounting it purely for your entertainment. Um, and so that you can see the work that God has done in my life to bring me to the lovely young woman who I am now. Because when I was in undergrad, honey, I I made some questionable decisions. Okay, especially when it comes to men. So like I said, I have a great relationship with any guy who has like been a part of my life at any point. Okay, that's a lie. Any of my exes, I'll say, like we all have a great, like we're all cool. So this is not any shade. It's not speaking on their character. We were all young back then. We were all childish and we all made decisions that are childish. So let's get into the story. So back in college, I was known by my very close friends as the pull-up queen, and I figured that I could just do a little series called Pull-Up Queen Chronicles, okay, because I have more than one account of this, which is unfortunate. But so I just to give you a little background, before I went to college, I had only had one boyfriend, and that was right before college started. And we broke up because my parents didn't like him. They didn't like him because he did something, but I was heartbroken, went into college heartbroken, dated a little bit, and then I got into my first relationship second semester of freshman year. And then I stayed with that person for a few years or a couple years, and then broke up. And then I started dating my most recent ex junior year and on, and then we broke up. So I'm single now. I'm not going to tell you who this is about. I'm not going to tell you what year that it happened. Just know that it was in the past. I just don't, like, if you know, you know. I just don't want to necessarily pinpoint the person that this happened with because, like I said, we are all on such good terms, okay? Like, we really all are. So please don't take offense to the tea, okay? So I was dating this guy, okay? I was in love, honey. Like, I was in love like I had never been in love before, okay? It was intoxicating. You know, the Black community when I was in undergrad was like very small. And so whenever like new classes came in, you know, you make friends with people of every age. And so me and this guy, we had been through a lot of ups and downs, and at the time we actually like were not together. Then we kind of started like rekindling what we had. Essentially, What's done in the dark comes to the light, and I find out that he is messing with this girl who I also knew and who was familiar with the situation between me and him. So that ended up me being very upset with the girl and very upset with the guy. But let's give everybody names. So we're going to call the guy Will and we're going to call the girl Kelly. So me and Kelly, backtrack just to give you guys a little bit of background. Kelly and I had a mutual friend, and that is how Kelly and I met. And we shared a lot of deep conversations, and I shared the story about Will and I, which at the time I felt was an epic love story. So I shared that story with Kelly. I thought that we were like very close friends at that point, which again, I was childish. Like Kelly honestly like didn't know me that well, but I just was like very naive at the time. And so our mutual friend, we'll call our mutual friend Agnes. So Agnes is a person who I used to confide in about what was happening between Will and I. One day I was talking to Agnes about me and Will and telling her, yeah, things I think are looking really good, like we might get back together kind of thing. And Agnes is like,
you know what, Rob? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I hate to say it, but I think that Kelly is messing with Will.
And so I was shook, okay, because I was like, whoa. No, Kelly and I are like really cool. I don't think that's what is actually happening. And Agnes is like,
no, like they are.
Obviously I'm infuriated, but the type of person that I was, okay, I was calculating. I am not a knee-jerk reaction type of person at this space in my life. So I internalized, I received it, and I sat on it for a little bit. And I was like, okay, Will and I are not together. So can I really get mad? And the answer to that question is yes. Yes, I can. And so I decided I'm gonna talk to Will about it, find out what's really going on, as you feel me. Will and I decide to hang out one day. He comes to pick me up. I hop in the car. We head over to his apartment. We're kicking it. And then I basically confront him and I'm like, yo, so what's going on? Are you and Kelly doing something? Like, what's up? And he's like,
yeah, like we are. And
I'm like, whoa, because I asked you from the beginning to let me know if you were still kicking it with other females, you know, because we're not together. So at the time, I'm like giving him room to do him or whatever, because was I doing me for real? Honestly, no, because like I said, I was in love. This was my epic love story. Hey, this is Robin editing, and obviously, this wasn't my epic love story because, as you'll see later on in the story, I was clearly, very clearly doing me. But yeah, just wanted to add that. And so I'm asking him, like, are you and Kelly kicking it? And he's like, yeah. And so he's like apologizing profusely. Like, he's like on his knees, like quite literally on his knees. Like,
yeah, like, but that's in the past.
Y'all, I'm just gonna let you know that I have a terrible temper. It's bad. Like, it's bad. And so I'm like screaming at this man and telling him, how could you do this to me? Like, I thought that you loved me, X, Y, and Z. He tells me that he ends things with Kelly. All right, I got you. So this is happening around, I feel like it was like October or November. Basically, I don't like Kelly now because he told me he ended it with Kelly, and he said that when he spoke to Kelly, she said that she doesn't feel any allegiance to me and that she feels like we aren't friends. So she doesn't really understand what I'm so upset about, because it's not like she feels like I should move on and just leave it alone. And so I'm shook to my core because I'm like, that is not even Kelly's character. He's like, yeah, that's what she said. And so now I'm feeling like Kelly's the bad guy. So fast forward, I keep messing with this dude.
How I'm a clown? Tell me, how I'm a clown? Tell me, please. I would like to.
We're still not together, but I get him this bomb Christmas gift. I'm not going to tell y'all what it is because again, it's going to give stuff away. But I got him this bomb Christmas gift. I remember going to his apartment like a day or two before he left to go home to give him this Christmas gift. And when I was at the mall, he was like blowing me up, telling me that I need to come to his spot. Hurry up, come to his spot. He's running out of time. And I'm like, aren't you leaving to go home tomorrow? Like, what is the big deal? And he's like, well, I just got to do this, and like giving me all these excuses about what he has to do before he goes back home. And so I'm like, okay, no problem, but like relax. But he was like mad because he had a bad temper too. And so I finally get to his spot and he meets me downstairs and gets the gift, give me a kiss or whatever. And like, he's like, okay, I'm going to see you when I get back from Christmas break. So I'm like, okay, you know, like, love you, want. Put a pin in that situation because we'll come back to it and see what was really happening at that moment. Hey guys, Rob again. So I completely forgot to revisit this moment and tell you guys what actually happened. But he was so upset and he was rushing me because Kelly was coming over that night. So by the time I got there, she was literally upstairs in his apartment already. And he had to make up an excuse to come downstairs and get the gift from me without letting her know what was going on. So anyway, he leaves for Christmas break and he leaves pretty early. So I was still on campus. Some other people were still on campus. So I start feeling in my spirit because I had told him I wasn't going to talk to Kelly about the fact that I felt like she had just played me. But I changed my mind because you're not going to play me. So I decided to message Kelly to let her know that I felt like she really disrespected me as a woman and as a friend. And I didn't appreciate that. And I didn't understand like why she would do that to me when I had been so like I had confided in her. Kelly's response to me, which in retrospect was very diplomatic, but at the time it set me off. Her response to me was,
you know, I really feel like you and Will are over, and I think that you should focus on moving forward and don't worry about this. Like, just leave it in the past, and I still have the utmost respect for you, so don't feel any type of ways.
And so I'm reading this message like, oh my God, I guess that she has like lost her mind because I'm feeling like, how are you saying this to me when you clearly disrespected me by dealing with the same person that you know I'm dealing with? Like, you know that we have a long history. Like, you know I love this man. Like, you know how it really is because you know the full story. So how could you disrespect me like this? And so I come back at her basically saying that, and she's like,
I just think that this is none of your business anymore.
None of my business? My man is none of my business? Shook. Okay, so I'm reading this and I'm like, okay, I need to hit Will up. I hit him up. I think I texted him and I was like telling him like she is really horrible. Like, I'm like, how could she say these things to me? Next thing you know, Will calls me. And I remember so vividly, I was driving down the freeway. This is before I had severe driving anxiety. I was driving down the freeway and he calls me and he's like,
Why did you text Kelly? You said that you weren't gonna text her. You know what? You're so problematic. Like, I can't deal with you anymore. I can't deal with this. All you want is drama, and we're done.
yo, I was so confused because I'm like, I just was letting you know that I texted Kelly and I didn't understand why she was saying what she was saying. And like, now you're mad for what? Like, I understand that I told you I wasn't gonna text her, but what is the big deal? Put a pin in that situation because that will also come back around. Let's just say that whole Christmas break, I was depressed. Like, I was so sad. I was so hurt because my dude played me for this girl who I thought was my friend. I felt betrayed by the whole world, y'all. Like, I was so hurt. I was literally on vacation crying. Like, it was so depressing, okay? So when we got back from Christmas break, I was still heartbroken. And this man, I wonder if I have this card somewhere because I keep everything. Like, I literally be keeping everything. So I can have conversations like this with my kids with the evidence to show what had happened. But anyway, so we get back from Christmas break and I obviously had mutual friends with Will. And I was at one of our friends' spots and he tells me that he has a Christmas gift for me. And so I'm like, why does he have a Christmas gift? Like, we don't even talk, like, we're not even cool. I'm like, okay. So he ends up pulling up and gives me a bouquet of flowers. Like, let me not play him, because I might play him. Like a $5 bouquet of flowers. They were yellow roses, or like spring picks, or some kind of something that was just not, they were yellow. And so I knew that they weren't like, I don't know why the yellow bothered me so much, but it did, okay? And there was a card, and the card basically says that we've had this long saga of love, and that I've taught him how to love, and that now we're in our 20s and we need to focus on being in our 20s, and we don't need to worry about like arguments, and he doesn't want to spend his 20s doing some type of foolishness. And it was saying foolishness. And so I read the card, and out drops like a Victoria's Secret gift card. So at the time, I was following him on Snapchat. Snapchat was really big. I don't know if it's still big. I don't really use it anymore. But I was following him, and I had seen what he got his siblings for Christmas. And he had gotten them like Victoria's Secret stuff. And you know, at Victoria's Secret, when you spend X amount of money, you get like a card that's worth X amount of money back because you've spent money. And so it's like a redeemable, take $75 off, whatever, you know? And so it was that kind of thing. And I was very familiar with Victoria's Secret at the time. And so at first I was like, wow, he got me a Victoria's Secret gift card. And then I was like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. These are the dregs of whatever you had going on with your family. So you not only got me this yellow bouquet of $5 flowers and this $2 card, but you also got me this ratchet Victoria's Secret money off card that's the remnants of what you paid for your family that you actually genuinely care about when you genuinely don't care about me. Sir, you can, okay, I can tell you what to do with that, and it doesn't involve me, okay? And so I took the flowers back to my dorm. I like threw them in my closet. I was like very dramatic. Obviously I'm dramatic now, but I was very dramatic. Threw them in my closet. Y'all, those flowers died in my closet. I found them months later. Threw them in my closet, and I took the card. I think I still have the card. I think it's somewhere. And I threw away the card, like the Victoria's Secret card, which was stupid because it was obviously still worth money. I could have used that, but my pride, a theme in these stories is gonna be my pride, because my pride just wouldn't let me do that, okay? So next are my classes for that semester. For that semester, I have a class with Kelly and I have a class with Will. And I've never had classes with either of them. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to see this girl all the time. Like,
ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
This is the worst, okay? Plus I have to see Will first thing in the morning. Like, it was so annoying. Like I said, Kelly and I were in like some organizations together. So of course we started to develop mutual friendships. So one day I was at the library with a mutual friend, not Agnes, a different one, of Kelly's. And she mentioned Kelly's name, and I was like, hey, no disrespect, but I don't want to talk about Kelly because I don't like her. And she was like,
Oh my god, like, why don't you like her? She's so wonderful.
and I'm like, yeah, that's what everybody thinks. That's what everybody thinks. Okay. And she was like, well, tell me. And I'm like, no, because I'm really not trying to like change your view of her, but just know that I know who she really is. Okay. Because y'all, I just really thought I knew. Like, I just really thought I knew. Mind you, Kelly and I are really like, to this day, we're cool. Like, we're really cool. So she's like, tell me. So I end up recounting the whole thing to her. Cool. And she's like,
I just don't think that sounds right.
and I'm like, what do you mean? She's like,
I don't think that Kelly knows that you and Will were like messing around.
and I'm like, what do you mean? Will literally told me that he told her, and Kelly said that he doesn't care that we're friends and that she doesn't have any allegiance to me, so she doesn't understand like what I'm talking about. And she's like,
No,
that's what happened. But anyway, I let it go because again, it's in the past. It's above me now. I'm above it now. Okay, I'm a boss. I don't need Will and I don't need Kelly. I don't need any of y'all. Okay, that's how I was feeling. Cool. Fast forward like a couple of days because we have our meeting. We have our like organization meeting. And I see Kelly talking with that mutual friend after the meeting. And so I leave and I'm like not thinking anything of it, back at the library again. And I get a text message from Kelly. And she's like, where are you at? And I'm like, I'm at the library. And she's like, can I meet you there and talk to you? And I'm like, and I look at my friend who I'm there with. And I said, listen, somebody's about to come here and I think I'm about to fight in the library. Like, I think I'm about to have to fight, like, right now. And he's like, he's like, what? Like, what is happening? And I said, I don't know why she would hit me up because she knows I don't like her. So I don't really know what the purpose of her coming to the library would be unless she wanted me to fight her. So I think that's what's about to happen. And so he's like, okay, well, like, just okay. And I'm like, okay, okay, like, whatever needs to happen, like, needs to happen. So, which is not even my character, y'all. Like, that's not even my character. Like, I was so crazy over this boy. Kelly walks into the library and I'm ready to go. So I leave my little study room and we go and sit down. And the first thing Kelly says is,
You know what, Rob? I'm really sorry.
you're sorry? Okay. Imagine me shook because you're sorry. You're sorry? What happened to all that energy from a month and a half ago? You're sorry now? Oh, so I was so confused. And she goes on to tell me, y'all, this is the craziest thing ever. I literally wish I still had text messages from this because it was so wild. So this is what Will did. Will was a master manipulator, okay? He literally told me that Kelly didn't care about our friendship and that she was saying that I was like an obsessed ex-girlfriend and that I need to let him go and like all of this stuff, while telling Kelly that I was crazy. So he's telling me that Kelly is this heartless female who like doesn't care about me, doesn't care about my feelings, and he's telling Kelly that I'm an over obsessed ex-girlfriend who won't let go of him. And both of us goofies are listening to him.
Why you always lying? Oh my God.
So the problem is that in this moment, Kelly and I diverge because I've already had a month and a half to simmer, marinate, digest the fact that I don't like this man to my heart of hearts, soul of souls, and at my core. I had all of that time to let that marinate, okay? So in this moment, I don't feel heartbreak, honey. I feel like it's time for retribution, okay? And so Kelly, on the other hand, poor thing, like she just is now realizing like that this man is not, he's not treating either of us right, okay? And so now she's really heartbroken and she's really hurt. And I wish that I could have been more conscious and like been there for that more, but I wasn't. I was worried about myself. And so I said, Kelly, baby, I'm really sorry that this happened to us because we both deserve better. But I don't know about you, but I'm ready to pull up, period. And she's like,
Oh, no, like, I don't think that we should do that.
I said, it's okay, like, I'm not pressuring you to do that. Like, you don't have to do anything. But I will be pulling up on him forthwith, okay? Because I don't have time for this. And she's sitting there, like, deciding what she wants to do. And eventually she decides that she's with the shenanigans, okay? And this is when it gets fun. So Kelly was still cool with Will. I hadn't talked to Will since he had dumped me on the freeway, okay? And so she's like, okay, like I was supposed to meet up with him tonight, and I said, okay, cool. This is what we about to do, sis. And I tell her to text him and let him know like, you know, she's gonna come over and ask him what time he wants her to come. He doesn't tell her a time. He says that he'll let her know when he gets home. And so I said, okay, Kelly, so what we're about to do is we're gonna go hop in my car and we're gonna go stake out his apartment. Y'all, I was crazy. Like, I was crazy. Okay. Why would I do this? When we got to his spot, I don't know if we thought that he was already in the house. I almost feel like we were trying to have one of those moments where a dude walks in and just sees the two girls sitting there. I don't know what we were thinking, but we went up to his apartment and went in because, you know, when you're in college, you just don't think about safety and stuff like that. And so the door was unlocked and we walked into the man's house. Okay, and it was dark in the living room, so Kelly's leading the way. So the apartment is set up with like a living room, and then it has rooms branching off of the living room. I think there were like 3 rooms in there, 2 or 3 rooms in there. I can't remember how many roommates he had. And so Kelly walks all the way to his appropriate room. I kind of hang back, and because it is dark, I don't know if his roommate didn't see me or if his roommate was like half asleep, didn't register what was happening or like what actually happened. But his roommate was like, Kelly, what are you doing here? Like, Will is not here. And she's like,
Sorry.
like, we were like sputtering idiots because it's like, dang, like we about to get caught up before we can even spring it on him. And so we like scurry out of the house. So I'm like, we're gonna go stake out his apartment. Now I want you all to understand that at the time I was driving a cerulean blue Toyota Corolla with a spoiler. There was only like 5 of these cars in my city, period, because it was like a weird color. It was when Corolla was going through that transition to the new body. It was before they went into the new body. So they put out a bunch of like dope colors so that people would still like be rocking with Corolla. And so I had the car for a couple years, but everybody knows that's my car, okay? Like, everybody knows that's my car. So why I would think that I could stake out an apartment without getting caught up is beyond me. I don't really know why I thought that just because I leaned the seat back, he wouldn't recognize my car or my very distinct license plate. I'm not really sure, but you know, when you're in those heated moments, you're really not thinking things through. So lean our seats back, okay? So we're in the car. And we're like this, waiting for him to get home because I don't want him to know that I'm there. He's expecting just Kelly, okay? Why am I getting excited? Oh my goodness, this is one of my best pull-ups ever. So Kelly's leaning back, I'm leaning back, and we're waiting, looking at Will's apartment door, waiting for him to pull up, okay? So eventually we wait there for, I would say, like 45 minutes. And so I'm like, hey, check with him and see if he's here yet. And so she texts him, and y'all, I don't know how, but he got past us. Like, we didn't see him go into the house. I don't really know how that happened, but we didn't see him go into the house. And so Kelly says, yeah, he's already home. So I don't know how we missed that moment where we could have like pounced and just been like, boom, got you. We are ready to confront him. So I'm like, Kelly, let's go. Like, this is the moment, okay? This is the moment that we've been waiting for. This is what he deserves because he tried to play both of us. This is what it comes to, okay? So hey guys, so this is the end of part 1. I know that it's a cliffhanger, but the video was getting kind of long and I didn't want to upload like an hour-long video. So go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at IMROBYN_. I'm Robin on the screen here. And comment down below if you made it to the end of this video, okay? Let me know what you think so far. Thanks so much for watching. Bye! Kelly and I get out.